Hey, another week.
Hey, we are back. Thank you for tuning in to the Richie Rich and Westerfer Show. We're talking about today's trending topics and asking our sex question of the week.
Ooh.
Which this week is, have you ever ghosted on a hookup? Or like bailed? Been like, I gotta go. Or, you know, the proverbial phrase, kicked them out of bed.
Oh, we're douches.
Well, you know, these are things in life that happen.
True story.
Are just asking the question. Now, before that, though, we are going to get to some of our topics of the week. We have actually some fun ones like Janet Jackson and Colton Haynes. We have with the Power Rangers costumes. That's fun.
Yay.
We have some some creepy Facebook stuff, and then like a weird story.
Yeah.
We have like kind of a, I don't know, spooky section this week. And then we're obviously have to talk about the crazy Jehovah's Witness cartoon that came out this week. I will also talk about the Met Gala, that big airbags recall that's going on.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then, of course...
God. What now?
Of course, we'll do our Who Do We Hate? Who Do We...
Love.
Before we get to the sex question.
Yes.
So, meanwhile, there's still probably time on Twitter, because I asked the question really late, and I forgot to time it out like I normally do. So it's still...
Wes had a rough day.
It's basically still going for the next, 24 hours. So if you want to go on my Twitter, at Westerfer, and find that poll and vote in it, there's still time. So who knows how it will truly come out. We'll announce it next week. This week we'll talk about the stories. But before we get to that, of course, that's the icing on the cake. Before we get to that, we will dive into our trending topics. And
yes.
usually we start with a little, like, celebrity fare.
Because who doesn't like some celebrity gossip?
Yeah. So let's get to the celeb dish or whatever.
Miss Jackson?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, so...
What?
Janet Jackson. Yes, I just forgot something I didn't
I'm like, what happened?
Not to steal Janet's thunder. So let's talk about Janet first, and I'll just make a note.
Okay.
She is...
Preggers.
Wait, some people hate that word, by the way. Preggers.
I know. I'm not really that big of a fan, but I just started saying it for no damn reason, and I can't stop now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm too lazy to say pregnant, that's why.
It's the exact same amount of syllables.
Now, Janet had said before that she was canceling her tours to
She's
start
planning a family.
Right. Which at the time, everyone was like, oh.
Like, huh?
Okay. Wait, does that mean are you pregnant or are you, wait, what?
It was very oddly worded.
So
she seemed very excited about it.
Yeah.
And then she just said, I have to rest up. Doctor's orders.
Like, okay.
And like, doctor's orders for what? Like, are you pregnant or are you trying to get pregnant? Like, what's happening right now?
I don't know.
But now we know she's pregnant.
Which it could have been part of that process. I mean, she is almost, 50? She's just shy of 50 right now?
I think so, yeah.
So that's a little...
it's scary for
a little on for most women to have a child. So she probably was doing some kind of fertility thing, and it probably was like a very specific time that all of this could have, gone down. So maybe that's kind of what it was. But
I mean, that all makes sense and falls into the timeline of everything. But congratulations, Janet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Baby number 1, possibly, and baby number 2.
Baby number 1. That's what leads us to one of the strange kind of rumors that I think people have heard over the years again and again and again is that Janet has had like a baby with DeBarge or whatever from her first marriage. Mm-hmm. I mean, okay. And somehow I also know that supposedly this kid was like raised by one of her sisters, I think like Reggie, raised it, like raised the child.
Yeah,
so it's still in the Jackson family, but
that family's so weird.
It's really Janet's
I love
baby.
me some Janet, but that whole
it's-
family has some odd things going on.
Do you think that's just one of those things? It's like a rumor or whatever.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, because it's not like. First of all, Janet's very private as it is, and always has been.
Yeah. But I mean, having a baby is like, you can't really hide that exactly.
I mean, she could hide for 9 months.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like the very beginning of her career when she was like, her adult career. When she was with him. And it's not like there's like paparazzi with cell phone cameras everywhere. And she's disappeared for like years at a time before.
Yeah, no, I mean,
since then.
Back then it was a little bit different.
Yeah. So I don't know.
You know another rumor?
It's weird.
You know another really weird celebrity rumor that I've heard?
What?
Is that Priscilla Presley and Elvis Presley's child, Lisa Marie, because Elvis, this is the rumor, because Elvis feared so much for her safety that he actually swapped her out with another baby.
What?
So that the Lisa Marie that we all see is just like some
random bitch?
Random baby.
That can't be true. She looks like her dad. Like, no way. Oh, I remember when she had
You never know what they can do with plastic surgery these days. They could have.
True.
Yeah, that's another weird rumor. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But congrats to Janet
It's very weird. But it's one of those things where it's like that always comes up, and there's literally no way to prove or disprove that. Really,
yeah, it's
one
just
of those like, oh,
the world may never know.
Interesting.
But congrats on possible baby number 1.
I love how we have just pissed all over this baby news.
Started off one way, and in true podcast fashion for us, we just went completely left with it.
Started off so nice. Well, then let's move on to Colton Haynes, who sort of came out-ish again.
Yeah,
right?
I was confused by it. I thought he was out already.
I thought so too.
And I don't really follow him like that or anything.
Right, and then he came out again. He mainly came out more as an anxiety sufferer.
Yeah.
Which, if you look at his face, I think makes a lot of sense. He is constantly... Don't you? When you see him doesn't he always have that look? He always looks like he's...
Of impending doom?
Yes, stressed the fuck out. I have a constant panic attack.
Someone needs a Xanax.
Yeah. I thought it was just his acting, but apparently it's...
No. Apparently it's typecasting.
Whew, this is going to be a good one tonight. We're already
pissing everyone off in Hollywood right now. This is just great for our brand.
Fantastic. Well, no, actually, good for you, Colton. That's awesome. So I guess they had to come out again was...
Yeah, I just...
not really necessary, but...
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one, because I was like, I thought this was already...
No. I'm glad he's sticking to it, because there are other actors, like... what's his face, that was in that Mad Max movie. What the fuck, Tom Hardy or whatever. Like, he had said that he'd had, like, some kind of bisexual thing.
Oh, yeah, they always do that just to get fucking...
Then he just kind of, like, took it back. And then there's, like, Luke Evans, I think, had said he was gay. But now, after,
a lot of the girls do that, too.
After he was in the Hobbit series, then he either wouldn't talk about it or said that he was straight and had a girlfriend and blah, blah, blah. So at least he's sticking to,
to his guns.
Yes.
And his penises.
Yeah.
Well,
actually, if you're out in West Hollywood at all, you can probably see Colton hanging around. It's not like
it's not difficult at all.
Yeah. Go to the Abbey.
Yep.
Go to, what is it, Earth Bar or whatever the fuck that is on Santa Monica there.
I've never been there.
They have the acai bowls. Those acai bowls are damn good. Someone that
you and your food.
I get very...
Wes is in a fat mood today.
I get very emotional about food, and yeah. I get excited.
He had the biggest lit up face earlier when he was thinking about a pasta salad that I have to try.
It's so good. Yeah.
And I thought that he was going to tell me that he got engaged, that Nick popped the question. I don't know, but it was about a motherfucking pasta salad.
Yeah. Well,
These are the things that make him happy. Send him gifts that are edible.
Yes. Well, you haven't tried the pasta salad yet, so you know that level of excitedness.
You had an orgasm face. I'm sure it's going to be great. I will have a spoonful before the night's over.
Quite good. So yeah. And I think who else goes to that little Earth Bar place or whatever the fuck it is? Again, where they have the acai bowls. Zac Efron goes there.
Oh really?
Not that I'm stalking this Earth Bar or whatever it's called. It's probably not even called Earth Bar. Like, that's the funniest thing. Like, there's so much shit that
it's called acai bowl.
There's so much crap that I see all the time where I didn't even think of the name. You're like, that place
on the corner right there, across from Basics.
You mean
So don't try to Google Earth Bar and go there asking for an acai bowl because they probably don't have it. It's probably called something completely different.
Yeah, and you're probably not going to see Colton Haynes there either, but still. Oh, so I remember the other thing that I forgot to put down in our celebrity category is Kesha's single went to number 1.
Did it? Yay!
Yes.
Oh, and it is a Zed remix.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I guess it was a song from a few years ago. And then they just rehashed it and put her on it. So that explains that question from last week as to how she was able to pull this off without
skirt the whole
Dr. Luke situation.
Yeah,
so.
which is awesome. That's great that they found some way she could.
Always a loophole.
Yes. One more item in the, I guess, celebrity realm or entertainment realm. Well, maybe 2 more.
It's alright, we're not on a time limit.
Yeah, no,
we're good.
We got plenty of time. And we don't really have that many topics this week just because nobody died this week.
Thankfully.
And thank God. And I mean, there was stuff that happened, but some of it we'll get into later, for example, the Met Gala, which we definitely want to talk about. That's a really visual thing. So it's hard to kind of go into too much of that. Hard to go into the Kesha thing when we can't play some song or whatever, But yeah, well, I'm sure by the time we get to the Jehovah's Witness cartoon, we're gonna have to take a quick minute on that one. But these other topics we can kind of rifle through, which leads me to quickly. Since we both want to see the Captain America movie, and we'll be seeing that.
I've seen spoilers because I'm impatient.
Oh, okay. Well, and it did just come out yesterday.
Well, it was out last week in Chile.
Oh, shit.
Or Brazil. One or the other. And I happened to stumble upon this Facebook page that was posting different scenes from the movie, and someone got really upset about it. And I thought it was funny because this Facebook page clearly said something in a foreign language and then spoilers. Mm-hmm. Well, and you can tell that it's someone in the movie theater recording a scene of something, and then someone shared that and said, spoiler, ?
Yeah.
And someone went in on this poor kid and was like, why the fuck would you put this on my news feed, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, dude, anyone with half of a brain cell could tell that this is going to be a spoiler. You didn't have to click it. And watch the 3 minutes of this scene. He's like, I don't care. It just shouldn't have been on my newsfeed. I'm like, there was nothing on your newsfeed. It was a still until you clicked on the video.
Right.
But again,
probably pretty easy
the internet has absolutely no chill. So
we're going to give you a week to see the movie.
Yes.
Especially since we haven't seen it yet. And then we're going to do an all spoilers review of the film, which you are.
And we're gonna say spoiler.
Yes, from the beginning, from the title, from everything, because the whole idea, when we did our last review of the Batman versus Superman, was we had both seen the movie and just wanted to talk about it. So we wanted to include you in on that conversation, but of course, only if you've seen the movie, because otherwise, why would you really be interested in this anyways? It's just going to spoil it for you, and not having seen the movie, you won't really have any idea what we're talking about. So tune in for that next week. Go see Captain America right now.
You have 7 whole days to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you do not want to be spoiled by us.
Yes. And then the last item that I have, which is a bit of nostalgia brought back around, is the Power Rangers costumes.
Go Power Rangers!
Yeah, the costumes were revealed this week.
Yes.
What did you make of the whole redesign?
I'm a huge Power Ranger fan.
Okay,
if
you
anyone
are.
knows, I'm huge. Since I was a kid,
Yeah.
I was a Power Ranger. 4 years ago for Halloween. It was now.
What Ranger were you?
I was a Black Ranger.
Okay.
And people, if anyone knows me, I go all fucking out for Halloween. I don't just throw on some, I don't know, a morpher and some boy shorts and some glitter and oil anymore. I go full all out, and I'm always a superhero. And 4 years ago, I was a screen accurate Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. Helmet from a prop maker from the show.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was amazing. So I was super excited about this movie.
Yeah.
The suits, I want to see them in action because I'm actually a part of a forum. I'm totally geeking out right now. Called Ranger Board. Hey guys. And
shout out to
there's
Ranger
a lot of
Board.
discussion, and there have actually been no physical shots of the suits, and we're all wondering if it's going to be CGI.
Oh, what do you mean?
Yeah, because
the suits look CGI?
Suits that were revealed were an illustration, apparently, not actually a photograph of the suits. And there have been tons and tons of footage of Rita in a couple of costumes and all of that, and there have been different, I guess, stunt suits with just markings on them, which I'm sure some of it will be CGI, obviously, for stunts and all of that, because that's the route that people usually take now when making movies. But the actual suits, I'm not sure no one knows what they're doing with them as far as this goes. We now know the design.
Okay, see, I had really thought that photo. Granted, I took a look at it and presumed it was on real people or an actual set photo or something like that. I mean, for myself, like, I never really was that into the Power Rangers. As geeky as I am and all the shit that I watched and all that stuff, I mean, I've seen them, you know, like I know what they are, but I don't know, I couldn't really tell you like the whole story or what they're all about or any of that stuff. So I don't know. It would be interesting to see the costumes as an effect, but my only question with that is like when things don't look real. Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard for me to continue to pay attention when
same here.
Something just looks like
completely CGI.
Then it might as well just be a cartoon.
Yeah,
which is fine.
Absolutely.
I'll accept a cartoon, but I don't know. There's something.
I'm hoping they don't. I'm really hoping they don't. But yeah, they're yet to have any footage of any actual costume parts. So we're all kind of waiting on that to happen, and it may just be because they haven't even gotten around to film. They just started filming this movie. Okay. So they very well could be, this is how the costumes are going to look. We haven't gotten them made, fitted correctly, because everything's shot out of order in movies anyways. Yeah. So.
All right, that makes sense. Okay, so then, it's possible that that's just like the models that they're going to use.
My question is, as a Power Ranger fan, I was looking at the helmets up close, and I can't tell what the fuck some of those animals are. Some of them appear not to be the original 5 animals that the series started with.
Maybe it'll be a new... Okay, so for me, and I guess any of our listeners who may be interested in seeing the movie and like me, kind of remember them vaguely, but don't know the whole story. What is the whole Power Rangers thing?
Basically, Rita Repulsa, who is played by Elizabeth Banks, crashed in a dumpster on Earth from a planet that she had been entombed in for a gazillion years.
Okay, as I pour some more wine.
Yes.
Take a listen here.
And she starts destroying the city of Angel Grove. Zordon, this big blue head in a tube, and his robot partner Alpha 5 decides to get 5 teenagers with attitude. This is verbatim. Because it was in Power Rangers, the very first season was stupid corny.
Okay.
And they set out these 5 friends who just so happen to wear the corresponding colors of the Rangers that they are going to be give them these powers of the ancient dinosaurs and these giant robots.
Okay.
And from then on, every episode, they would fight the monster of the day and all of that stuff.
Right.
And try to
I
defeat
basically
Rita.
remember the monsters.
Yeah, all of that. So, but they had a specific dinosaur or dinosaur type thing that they were attached to. So the Black Ranger was a mastodon, the Pink Ranger was a pterodactyl, the Red Ranger was a Tyrannosaurus Rex. The Blue Ranger was a Triceratops. Yellow Ranger was a saber-toothed tiger. And then the Green Ranger was a dragon. I don't know how that happened. And the White Ranger was a white tiger, but he wasn't even there with the rest of the Rangers. It's a weird thing.
I was going to say, I don't remember that many of them.
Yeah, they used old Japanese footage from a show that had been on the air for like 10 years at that point and spliced it with American footage. And that worked fine for the first season, and then it caught on really big, and then they actually had to call up the people in Japan to make an additional season because the American version did so well. And then things got kind of wonky, and they had to, every season after that, kind of intertwine other things because over there, it was a standalone series, and every single year, it'd be a different cast, a different story, and all that. Okay. Here, we continued the same cast, and they would just get new powers, and yeah.
What?
And then after a while, they adapted their model of having totally different Rangers, characters, everything. Yes.
So interesting. So it's like a new person was the Red Ranger. Or
exactly. And it was a whole different story, whole different origin, all of that stuff. But yeah, so these helmets, some of them look. The Red Ranger looks like a Tyrannosaurus, I can see that, and the Pink Ranger does look like a pterodactyl, but the Black Ranger, I see nothing mastodon-ish about it, so I don't know if they're going to be toying with the animals that they're doing. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I know there are some people who love/hate their interpretation of Rita Repulsa. There's already some people saying, why isn't she Asian? Because she was in the show, but she was in the show because it's from a Japanese show and everyone on the show was Japanese and they just took it and brought it over here and rehashed it. But so that I don't care about that. She's an alien, so.
But it was Japanese when it was here, though, right? They were all.
They would for the fight scenes. They would use the Japanese footage over here, and then they would splice it in with our American footage. So. Yeah, which actually, funny story, because I know...
It was like white people in the American version doing the acting.
Yes, and then they were basically doing voiceovers for these action shots. But come season 2, they had to do a lot of their own everything, because they had to create storylines, and there wasn't enough Japanese footage now, and it just became a whole, pain in the ass for Haim Saban, the creator of Power Rangers.
I heard that he actually... Interesting note. I actually heard that he just bought the rights to them.
He rebought them.
Yeah, rebought them.
Yeah, he had them. He sold them to Disney.
Someone else's idea.
Yeah.
He bought them up. And then...
Yeah, he bought them, created the whole Power Ranger franchise, and then he actually sold it to Disney.
And then bought them back.
Jesus. Which is not good news for anyone acting in a Power Ranger TV show. One of my friends did. Because there was rumors. This is a behind-the-scenes tea on that. There were rumors way back in the day that, because there were a lot of weird things in the series, which if you go back and watch them, you're like, oh, this is odd. They would write people off the show because of contract disagreements, and they would have stand-ins being filmed from the back and having people sounding kind of similar to them because it's a kid's show, no one's going to really notice. And all of a sudden, 3 of the people would go to a peace conference, and then they'd throw in 3 new Rangers. And they only got paid like $800 a week back then because they're not union.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I guess they were very, very not liked in the Hollywood world because they were the most popular kid show at the time, and the show made a shit ton of money.
Well, yeah.
But these kids were not, and they were leaving left and right, and that's why there were so many changes in the cast. And I guess it was union when they went to Disney, and then when he bought them back, and my friend was a Ranger 2 seasons ago, actually, and they're back to non-union, and he was
How is
super,
that even legal?
They film in New Zealand, and the contracts are insane. He cannot act on anywhere near a children or teen show for 2 years after he's done filming. Cannot change his appearance for 3 years.
Oh my God.
They had to do extra work as far as video game voiceovers, everything. They don't get paid stunt pay. So it is, and it ended up being like he was just working a normal day-to-day job, but he got a free trip to New Zealand and was on a kids' TV show.
God.
Yeah, so Haim Saban sucks, and those contracts are not fun.
I just can't believe that you could get away with something like that for...
You absolutely can. And the cast from like years ago, I mean, there's been tons of them now. They do these conventions, I guess, now. And you can find YouTube videos of them all talking about how horrible it was behind the scenes, how you basically shut up, kept your head down, made enough to eat, and be thankful that you're on a television show.
Oh my God.
And Haim Saban, the head honcho, who I guess is like one of the third richest people in the world, apparently.
Oh, I have a little tea about that, actually.
What?
So the reason that I know that he created the Rangers in the fact that he created the line of the show, the merchandising, this, that, the other. He didn't create the idea.
No.
I mean, it was already, he bought that Japanese show.
Yeah, the rights to the show, exactly.
And basically from there, just, bastardize it in a very crude way, which you just described. But then, of course, sold toys and whatever. That's really where he made all this fucking money. Well, apparently, now we can understand why.
Yeah.
But I will let this institution remain unnamed because it was a charitable institution that I was working with.
Okay.
But we were working with him and his wife.
Need some more wine for this tea.
Yes. We were working with him and his wife to essentially create a pretty big program for what, and again, I'll just keep the details very vague, but it was just for this particular charity, for what it was. And I mean, we're talking, millions of dollars. Their main concern really was getting their name on a building, and that is what it kind of boiled down to. And when there was a little pushback of putting their name, renaming a building, I mean, not just like putting their name on a building,
yeah,
but renaming an existing building that, and again, I don't want to get into it, might give it away, but renaming a fucking building after them, he then, during all of these kind of negotiations, did some press where he said that the individuals he was working with at this foundation were very difficult.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So he actually called out the organization that he was working with, hadn't actually given any money to.
Oh, my God.
But called them out for being difficult to work with in this interview. And it was basically kind of like a leveraging tactic. Like,
absolutely.
What I can do, I can go to the press and I can...
He's one of the wealthiest men in the world.
He's a fucking asshole.
And, there you go. And that, too. No, but actually one of the... Karen Ashley, who was the second Yellow Ranger back in the day, was actually in the movie, the first Power Ranger movie that they came out with.
Okay.
And she had a story that she shared at a convention where she was so excited to meet him, and they're at the premiere of the movie, and everyone's really excited because these are these kids that have been in these shitty contracts, and they're 19, 20 years old, happy to be on television, on the biggest kids television show in the world at this point. And she's like, "Hi, it's so nice to meet you, yada, yada, yada." He's like, "I'm sorry, who are you?" As her face is behind him on the poster of the movie that his name is attached to.
Yeah.
No, yeah, not only that, but same actress had a meeting with him and was asking to be released from the show from her contract because she wanted to pursue other things. She had a music career going on at the time and everything as well.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, this is great, no problem. We will talk about it. I'm going to have you written out of the show. You know, give your fans a chance to say goodbye. You guys are really popular, all this stuff. Her next day at work was her last, and she was replaced by the next episode by another black actress.
Yeah.
So,
Ridiculous.
This is exactly how horrible a person this person is. But back to the actual movie that is coming out.
That will make him even more money.
Even more money. I hope the suits aren't completely CGI. I hope that they don't completely mess around with the script too much because there are a lot of diehard fans.
Hokey and ridiculous. Anyways,
they can't make it too serious. I will say this,
I hope it's kind of like a spoof. I don't know.
I will say this. I was hoping that they went as dark as they did with the Joseph Kahn short of Power Rangers that he did all by himself, I think, a year and a half ago. Did you ever see that? No. I will show you after the podcast. It is something I would love to have a full-length version of.
Okay, interesting.
There are strippers, there's cocaine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not a kid's show anymore.
Not at all. So, I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be that dark, but we'll see. So, but yeah, it's exciting Power Ranger news, and we can move on from there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of just absurdities, to me, the Power Rangers were always just so, like, beyond ridiculous.
They were.
You brought up the Met Gala this week.
Yeah, speaking of beyond ridiculous.
Yeah, like last weekend, which is basically where celebrities get dressed up in these crazy fashions.
Yes.
And typically they end up looking just really...
Yeah.
I know I'm not a fashion person or whatever, but honestly, like, every year it reminds me of the Emperor's New Clothes.
It's always tragic. And no, this year...
And some people looked good.
Some people did look really good.
Fine.
But my thing is this. There's always a theme.
Mm-hmm.
And this year's theme, I believe, was like fashion and
future,
technology or something intertwined with technology
and some people really got it right. Like the incredible dress that Claire Danes wore.
Yes, she won. I'm sorry, that whole night. That was amazing because that was completely fashion, first of all. I would have loved that on the red carpet at the Oscars.
Yeah, it was a pretty dress.
And then it illuminated.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Which I think that hit it right on the nail. Then there's some other people who did not seem to get the memo. First of all, I'm tired of men on a red carpet or at these damn Met Galas.
In a goddamn tuxedo.
Looking like a bunch of penguins. I'm just like, this person, Nick Jonas, owned the night. In what? A blue blazer and black dress pants?
No.
Why?
Tired of it. Yeah.
Do something outrageous. Do something that I'm not going to see every single award season or on every single red carpet that you go to. Men are so boring and unfashionable in Hollywood.
Yeah, the ladies are so over the top that it's absurd and laughable, and then the guys are all still wearing tuxes. Like, it's just...
It makes no sense to me.
Yeah. I actually didn't like. I like what Beyonce was wearing. The funny thing to me, did you see what Solange was wearing?
I did. I can't help laughing because they both, so many memes about both of them, which like the seasoned chicken for Beyonce, which cracked me up.
She did kind of look like she was wearing a prophylactic.
Someone did color correct the dress into a couple of different colors, and it does look a lot better in a different color.
Yeah. It looks very condom-esque.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also like her skin tone, so it's not like there was any kind of contrast to break up the monotony of the dress, but I mean, and Solange looked like cupcake wrappers.
Solange looked like she was wearing giant cupcake wrappers, which I actually, for whatever reason, I really enjoyed.
I knew you were going to say that.
I just thought it was ridiculous.
I absolutely
If you're
knew
going to an event like this, I think you have the one opportunity to completely go overboard and just completely ridiculous. And that's.
I was surprised that Lady Gaga didn't really.
I felt like her outfit was incomplete.
Yeah, it looked like she was like in the middle of figuring everything out and then just rushed out of the limo and, okay, I'm here.
Yeah, it just didn't like...
And her face looked very odd.
Didn't look finished.
And I can't even pinpoint that.
Didn't look finished or really well conceptualized or... I don't know. So it's weird. Obviously, again, it's a very visual thing. So if you saw the Met Gala, maybe you have some favorites. You should definitely tweet us photos of your favorites, or obviously with the mood they were in this week, you should tweet us some of your your shade moments where give us some
Lord.
shade. Send us a picture with some shade on Twitter. We would love
Please do.
to see that. If you
Speaking of shade, did you see Demi Lovato's little bitch fit on social media about the Met Gala?
I heard about it, but I really don't care about Demi Lovato.
God,
so
Petty LaBelle.
Yeah.
She took a picture with Nicki Minaj
Oh God.
and someone else. I can't even remember who it was. I don't know if it was someone famous or not.
All you have
but-
to say is Nicki Minaj, and I know there's gonna
Exactly.
be drama. 'cause
Well,
there's
that's the
always fucking
thing.
Drama with her.
Nicki Minaj posted the picture on her Instagram apparently, and tagged the other person in the picture and then her, but not Demi Lovato. Which that Nicki Minaj is not on her phone or whatever, and I'm sure her assistant, which is I don't really care for Nicki Minaj, so this is not me defending her. I'm just saying the way that Hollywood works. Someone probably quickly went on there, tagged Nicki Minaj, the person that she was with, and maybe didn't even realize it was Demi Lovato next to her. Whatever.
Or just didn't have her
Yeah, her Instagram thing or whatever.
or whatever it was. So
Demi
she
Lovato,
didn't get tagged. So
yes,
Demi was all butthurt.
threw a fucking
she didn't get
fit. And was like, oh, that moment when you're not mentioned in a picture that you took with someone, but you did nothing wrong.
Oh God.
Oh God, how are you fucking kidding me?
Wow.
It's like my first and probably my last Met Gala. I'm like, oh God, you're so insufferable. I can't deal with her.
She's really dramatic. The real shady thing to do would have been to retweet the photo or repost the photo and been like, love you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
really kind of lay it on. That would have been kind of
third
funny.
grade.
Because some people would have commented on it if they had clicked over and seen she wasn't tagged. So
I've had friends that have had pictures of me and not tagged me for whatever reason. I didn't get all butthurt about it. It's a fucking picture on Instagram. Shut the fuck up and enjoy your time at the Met Gala.
people are weird about shit. Do you know what? One time I had, oh God, I hope he's not listening.
I hope he is.
One time I had a boyfriend.
My evil ass.
One time, this is a shady fucking episode.
It really is.
So let's just go.
And here we thought we had nothing to talk about.
I know. We thought it was a light week, but shit. The claws are out. Okay, so one time I had this boyfriend who will remain nameless, but he'll know who I'm talking about when I
Brad.
tell this story.
I'm just kidding. I don't know any of your ex-boyfriend's name. I'm totally playing around.
Please, and take white people. Brad.
True.
So, as you know, I do love social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. I even do Snapchat every once in a while.
He's learning how to do filters, people.
I am, yeah.
He was a koala last week.
Yeah, it's
he made major progress. I was very proud of him.
It's selfie snap for me all the time. I tried to face swap with my cat and it didn't work. I was really upset.
Oh, that's sad.
She's really, really, really dark.
Why has it got to be a skin tone issue? But continue.
I've seen people switch places with, anyways, whatever. So I do love social media, but I had a boyfriend once who sent me some flowers as just kind of a surprise or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. But I was at work, and the particular job I had at that time was very time consuming and very stressful, and there was always a lot going on. So I basically had, and I thanked him and whatever, but he got upset that I did not post it on Facebook. Post
Are
a
you
picture.
serious?
Yeah. He was upset I didn't post a picture on Facebook of the flowers.
Wow.
And tag him.
Oh God.
Yeah, he was mad about that. Because he was like, well, you Facebook everything else. Which is true, actually.
It actually is very, very true.
But still.
Oh,
Busy
God.
that afternoon.
Yeah, so Demi Lovato, calm the fuck down.
Sometimes people are looking for drama. So did she escalate this into a thing with Nikki? Or
Oh, I don't
Nikki...
know. I saw it, I laughed, and I just kept scrolling by.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're not two of my favorite people, so I really didn't care. I just went back to watching Claire Danes' dress, and reading about Britney Spears' conservatorship.
Yeah, that dress was amazing. Britney still has that conservatorship?
That's the thing. Okay, so...
That's been a long time.
Oh, yeah, it's been since 2008.
Jesus.
But I think now, because she seems normal, and I think now it's just one of those...
you know.
Yeah. I just think now it's one of those things where it's working, and she can drive now, and you see her shopping all the time and shit. So it's not like she's like sitting at home, and I don't know. I think it's a legal thing at this point in time, because it also protected her from having to testify or being around a few people that were involved in her meltdown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So even that this past week, she actually had to confront someone that was one of the main people. Like, they forced her to, but she seemed fine, and everyone said she was completely fine, held her own, and said, "No, this is some bullshit," and whatever.
All right. Well,
but yeah, I'm thinking that it's more of, at this point, more of just a legal thing, and her family is in control of her finances, and she's around her family all the time, and it's one of those whatever. Like, it's
maybe it just works for her.
I think it just works. She's like, whatever. I can deal with having $20,000 a month to do whatever. She seems like she wants to be a mom anyways, and her career is her job.
Yeah, I get that from her, and I also feel like, you know, when you're living at that level where there's so much coming in, and there's people you trust, like your mom and your dad, who have always run her business, by the way.
Exactly.
This is not a new thing. They have from the time she was like 7.
Yeah.
They were doing this, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and I think with what happened, it's more of a thing just protecting her estate than anything else. I think she's completely able to... Yeah. I mean, clearly she testified in court, and that was fine. She's out and about being a normal person with her kids all the damn time now. And I just think that it's just, if it's not broke, why try to fix it and get out of it and do all of these other weird legal things when it's fine, I'm making my money, I'm happy now, and everyone else is too, and I trust everyone going on. But so...
Well, hooray for the Britney update. That was an interesting segue, which there's really no segue into this next topic. But this came up this week in my social media feed, and then when I was telling a friend about it, they had a weird story that I loved attaching to it. And then when I told Richie Rich that I had this topic for tonight, he was like, "Oh my god, I have a story about this too." So we're kind of going into a spooky realm. I wish we had some sound effects.
I know,
because there would be like an overlay of like, wolves howling or wind blowing. Or
Kitty, make a noise.
So, Kitty.
She's like, "What the fuck do you want?" I want to scratch my ear.
Literally just flipped her head around and scratched her ear,
in
like
full
whatever.
Diva mode. Like, don't disturb me when I'm in my slumber.
And she's actually very talkative, so the fact that she didn't bother to say anything is a real bitch move. She's in theme with the show tonight. So our next topic goes into the morbid a little bit, which
a little bit, a lot of it.
Facebook for the dead.
Oh, it freaks me out.
So Richie Rich, you're totally freaked out by this, but apparently there's a setting in Facebook where you can leave a legacy page. So that is to say, if you pass away, you can allow someone else to continue to keep your Facebook page up. I think sometimes they would have just deleted them in the past, or a family member might have. I'm not exactly sure what Facebook's policy on this is. All I know is there's an option.
You can set yourself, right?
So what happens if you have a Facebook page, like I do, like most people do, what happens when you die? And then what happens if you keep that Facebook page open, or it becomes this legacy page, maybe a family member is running it. Everyone that you're connected to as a friend gets a notification on your birthday that it's your birthday. And that's why this came up in my feed, was because some of these legacy pages are coming up and people are seeing birthdays of people who are passed away, and Facebook makes it so easy to wish someone a happy birthday.
Yeah. It just happened to me like a month ago.
What?
My friend Larry died
my God.
a year and a half ago. I'm just like, and I'm pretty good about wishing everyone a happy birthday on Facebook
Yeah.
that I know. And I do know most people on Facebook, creepily enough. And I'm like, oh, let me just go. Okay, yeah, I'm a coworker. Happy birthday, love. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, shit, Larry. Fuck. Well, he's dead. Like, it kind of made me stop my tracks. I was like, fuck. Well, that just fucked up my mood. I didn't really want to see that Facebook, but thanks a lot for reminding me that it's his birthday today.
Right. Okay, so this has actually happened to you.
Yes, recently.
wow.
Like, I was
in the
like,
past
I made a
months.
post about it, like, I think 3-4 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh. I just saw it come up recently where there was a whole thread about it because it was actually like their, I think, mother that still maintained the page. And the fact that people would, and not just on their birthday, people would actually drop in on the page and just be like, oh, I was just thinking about you today, and
No.
blah, blah, blah.
That's so weird.
So to know that this person's mother could see that was a huge comfort to them.
Really?
To know that even though their, son had passed on.
Am I an asshole? I'm
that-
totally freaked out by this.
Because the mother, in some ways for the mother, by people dropping these notes on this legacy page, it kept her son's memory really alive for her, where she knew that people were still thinking about him, they're still wishing him a happy birthday.
But, that seems like such a weird hindrance in the grieving process to me.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not sure as a parent that you would ever let go of a child.
well, yeah, no, obviously you can't let go of a
The grieving
child.
process is essentially the final process is like acceptance, bye, which is
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I just, I feel like that, I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. That's so odd to me.
Oh, there's the helicopter.
We've
We
been
haven't had a
found.
helicopter
God
in a
damn
few
it.
weeks.
We were hiding out here forever and we squatting in this damn house,
it.
and now they finally fucking found us.
We're gonna have to cut this episode short.
Oh, it was great talking to you guys this weekend. Just kidding.
And we start running with nothing. We're going live with that.
Hey, freeze! Save yourself, Wes. Save yourself.
Oh my god, I'm in flip flops. I can't even run that fast. God. So this whole Facebook for the Dead thing. On one hand, I can see with the parents.
I can understand. Yes, to a certain extent.
I personally, if someone passes away and I'm seeing that, it's going to be a sticking moment where usually if you think of someone when they passed away, it's usually a good moment. And yeah, it may be bittersweet or whatever. But when it's out of the blue, like a, Facebook notification where like, oh, this person's dead. It creates a different emotional reaction. So I don't always know is necessarily like good or that kind of bittersweet thing. It's like a weird slap in the face. So I get it. It's interesting. I have no idea. I think I would just prefer that I
guess it's situational.
Yeah, I would just prefer that my page be closed.
Yeah, I don't need anyone, just first of all, you're not going to be nearly as witty or comedic as I am on Facebook.
No,
so
just close my Facebook.
Just let it go.
Erect a statue in my honor.
Yeah,
that will be enough.
That's fine with me. Just re-listen to the podcast. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't need anyone on my Facebook running it after I die.
No. Okay, so get this. So I have a girlfriend who I was talking about the Facebook for the Dead thing to, and she said, oh my god, interestingly enough, my parents both have grave plots that they've bought and they've had for many years, which is actually a very smart thing to do if you come into some money and because a funeral is expensive. It's actually setting up your afterlife is actually an expensive process.
Yeah, it is.
A casket alone is thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah,
it's not cheap.
Not at all.
So you also have to buy the actual plot of land where they will bury you. So both of her parents are alive, but they have these plots. However, when she moved out here to California some years ago, her parents decided they were going to come out here too. So these plots are not in California. They're back where they all used to live.
Oh.
So they said, would you mind just taking care of this for us? Could you sell these for us? And then, we'll just,
Yeah.
You do something with the money or whatever. Believe it or not, there are actual websites set up where you can sell and buy graveyard plots.
What?
And other mortuary items.
What? You're fucking kidding me right now.
No, and other mortuary items, such as
like what?
like hearses.
Oh,
or
for fuck's sake! I can't deal with this.
Or people have found. Oh man, there was just something it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it. Anything kind of related to
the morbid and deceased?
Yes, basically. Anything kind of funeral related. So anyway, she put these plots up for sale. Oh, that's not even the weird. Believe it or not,
there's more.
That's not even the weird part.
Oh, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight, Wes. I can't. But
So
continue.
She puts these 2 plots up for sale, and someone contacts her and says that he's interested in purchasing these plots, and he's going to be burying his father or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Except this conversation started weeks ago.
What?
And then he started emailing her oh, hey, sorry, I was out of town and I was doing this with my kid and blah blah blah. And so she at this point was like, is he burying his father? What is going on now? Because it's been a while.
Yeah.
And then she stopped replying when he sent her a message that was like, so tell me a little something about yourself. Are you a single lady?
What the fuck?
Are you a single lady? Someone that, by the way, this is not a dating profile mortuary site. It's a listing of 2 plots in the ground where you can bury someone after they die. And he's basically only has an email that he's interacting with where he's never seen her. He has no idea who she is, where she is, what she looks like, how old she is. Nothing. Why?
This is a creepy episode. Datingforthedeceased.com.
Why the fuck would you even ask someone anything? Who cares? You're buying graveyard plots from them. Fucking weirdos.
Oh, God.
Okay, so now we'll go on to your story.
Oh. It's not. I mean, God, really.
Yes, I don't know. I literally
I give up on humanity. I'm moving to fucking Mars. I'm done with this planet.
Don't ever reply to him again. Just don't ever reply to him again. Don't ever answer his emails again. Don't encourage this at all.
God.
Because I guess there was also at one point he was asking for an address where he could send a check.
What? No.
I was like, no.
You better get a P.O. box or something.
No, don't. She was like, no, of course I would never give him my fucking address.
Or, oh God. Oh, sorry.
So yeah.
So this.
So
moving on along,
that
and in the same realm though.
Yeah, but staying in the death realm.
This poor lady, I'm gonna find her name, has been declared dead by the Social Security office.
Oh, this is so
sad. This is how stupid our country is sometimes.
Yeah. So this poor old lady, she's what, in her
I think she's 70s? In her 70s. She's elderly. She's been receiving Social Security for a while, and she relies on this. Got a letter of death in her name. Somehow, somewhere, someone fucked up, said that she's dead. She's not. Cut off her Social Security benefits. Not only that, but when you die, they send this letter out to everyone financially connected to you. So her credit cards have
her
been
whole
shut
life
down.
is fucked.
Literally
Like-
shut down. And it's no easy fix. And they're doing
Like,
nothing
can you
to
imagine
really
your bank
expedite this. Yeah.
being like, oh, well, no.
Like everything,
Yeah.
God, it was something even petty. Like I think her grocery card got shut down or something too. It was that detailed.
Jesus.
And so this poor lady is trying to get her life back.
Do you know what's like? I mean, yes, it's horrible and whatever, but in a way, it's like a tragic comedy. Like it almost sounds like the beginning of a sitcom.
It really does.
Like, so you've been declared dead.
Dead.
And that's where all the craziness
Right.
ensues or whatever. But it just,
Yeah,
that
like,
actually
and they had her like on the
happen.
phone with people trying to get everything done. And apparently, it's very difficult to undo something like that, which I would think if someone incorrectly declares you dead, that if you can prove a number of things and actually meet with the Social Security administrators in person and show them documentation, that they should be able to get this going again for you.
I would think so.
I mean, like that's her livelihood.
Can't you just
She can't-
uncheck deceased?
Yeah, I'm
I
like, it's not like
mean,
she can't work.
Yeah.
She relies on her Social Security. And that's just, like, that's not okay. So I can't find her damn name because
we literally do zero research for this show.
Right, exactly. No, I actually had her name in my notes, and I deleted that whole slot of notes.
Yeah,
thinking it was gibberish.
You know, we're winging it here. We don't have a producer. We don't have like an official setup or anything like that. We really are just talking about the stuff that's happening.
The shit that we
this
saw
week.
this week.
Yeah.
And I actually saw this on Fox News, not Fox News, the KTLA.
Oh, on KTLA. Okay.
You know damn well I'm not watching Fox News.
Well, I think it's interesting too because this is the kind of stuff where you hear about these things, but you can't remember all the details.
Yeah.
It's like trying to.
I was just
fill in the
floored.
stuff
I was
where-
like, woman.
Yeah, we're not kind of
declared dead.
We're not like the authority on it, but if you've heard about it or a similar situation, we definitely would love to hear from you. So, of course, you can always go on our Facebook page and respond to the episode. The best place to respond to episode. We have our website, which we link to on our Facebook page.
Yes.
And if you're on Facebook and you look up the latest episode, you can actually click over and using your Facebook login, you can add any comments to the episode.
So feel free.
Yeah, if there's a story you want to tell or something interesting, or obviously this week something bitchy, shady, or morbid as
Right.
fuck, then please feel free, either on Facebook or on our website, again, using Facebook comments. It's that easy. You just click over.
Yes.
But either way, you can leave your thoughts and tell a story.
Speaking of quick thoughts, so our wine of the week this week is Eccodomani, Italia.
Okay. Have you guys
Pinot
tried
Grigio.
this? We like Pinot here. We almost every week we have a Pinot
Yeah.
Grigio.
What do you think about this?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not too sweet. I don't like wine that's too sweet, but it's not too dry either because I don't like.
Particularly, I almost got a Sauvignon Blanc, and I totally didn't for that reason. So
Yeah, I'm not a big dry
perfect.
fan. So yeah, either comment on the episode or just tell us what you're drinking. We're not picky. Okay, so really quick, I don't know if this is a new thing, but I was going to talk about the airbag recall, the VW, Audi, Mercedes-Benz.
What is going on with German engineers?
Last week we talked about Volkswagen cheating on all
Yeah.
of the what the fuck
Their emissions and whatnot, right? Yeah.
things, and then we talked about the honest company not being so honest about the ingredients in their products.
Basically, if you're buying something, you're getting fucked.
Everyone is lying to you, and the world is horrible, basically. And
Except for us. We
Yeah,
are
except for
completely
us.
100% honest all the time.
Yeah, we'll tell you the tea, but if you're driving a Volkswagen, Audi, or Mercedes-Benz, you might want to make sure you don't need to replace your airbags. I'm not even entirely sure what I feel like these are the ones that are either failing to respond or over respond and kill you. I don't know what it is.
That's always fun.
Either way, you'll probably die.
Just hit hit a pothole, and all of a sudden your neck snapped.
So just make sure your airbag is all up to date if you're driving any of those vehicles. Just to quickly touch on that, and also to mention that, God damn it, I don't believe anyone or anything anymore.
Everything is fiction.
Everything is horrible. So we're right on the hour mark, and we have one last topic. And I know this was in a lot of people's social media feed this week because I saw it over and over again throughout the week, which was the Jehovah's Witness cartoon of a small child coming in to talk to her mother about what they drew in school, and that their friend drew their two mommies and they were married. And when she asked her teacher about it, her teacher said that if people are in love or
that's all that should matter.
That's all that should
matter. And good for you, teacher.
Yeah. And so using that quite logical, position, the mother of this apparent Jehovah's Witness child said, well, that's nice, but that's not what Jehovah wants. And proceeds to
equate it to getting on a fucking airplane.
Yes, the afterlife to getting on an airplane. And the real tea is, bitch, no one wants to go on that flight with you. Wherever you are going, no one fucking cares. Land there on that island alone by yourself.
That was the most ridiculous
because my idea of heaven is a place
ever.
without all of these bigoted fucking assholes. So you go ahead and believe in whatever you think Jehovah has told you to do. Don't be happy for yourself. Don't listen to your own sense of morals or your own sense of logic. You apparently just need to listen to what quote-unquote Jehovah, whoever the fuck that is, says to do in order to be happy.
And don't forget, you can change.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Literally, they use someone having too much baggage to go through an airport security line to get on the plane.
So you're gay, that's too much baggage.
Yes. So you have to leave that baggage behind.
You can just stop being gay.
But the good news is that you can change.
Yeah. God, fuck these
people. I hate people. We are shady, bitter bitches
that's
this
not
week.
Even shade.
It wasn't. That was truth right there. That was complete blown sunshine right there.
Because I don't care where the Jehovah's are going. If that's your point of view,
don't they have like 7 levels of heaven or some bullshit?
Whatever it
is,
go there by yourselves, hang out there, have fun. Because I don't want to have anything to do with it. Like I said, my idea of a heaven or an afterlife is somewhere without any of these bigoted assholes. So if you're saying I'm going to get kicked off the plane to heaven for having this baggage, good, because I don't want to go to your destination. But for anyone who does see these kind of videos, and it's very hard, I think, when an institution is breaking things down into these incredibly simplistic or really idiotic comparisons, to think how you can combat this or how you have
and directed towards children who are super impressionable.
Children who they're gonna think about this,
and think something's wrong with them.
They might remember this,
or that they're doomed to go to hell.
So something like this, I think, can be really, really harmful, and it just. Again, you have to just take the piss out of it. Nothing about this is logical or real or even remotely.
Gosh.
Just.
It was just odd. It looked like a Pixar cartoon.
Yeah, you just have to completely.
Because you can change.
You just have to dismiss it. You just have to dismiss this kind of idiotic
bullshit.
There
are idiots everywhere.
Because you will do yourself no good trying to argue these points or whatever. You have to just kind of move on and say fuck you. So to anyone sharing this video,
so basically, who do we hate? Jehovah's Witnesses.
We do. Well, I had another hate too. But actually, before we get to our who do we love, who do we hate, who do we love, we should do a couple shout outs. Because we normally do the shout outs at the beginning of the episode. But we're going to do them now. Richie Riss, did you have any shout outs this week?
I'm shouting out Patrick Ramirez, one of my very, very good guests who religiously listens to us, actually, and is always talking to me about last week's episode when I'm at work. So he's legit and actually listens to us ramble on and on, sipping wine, talking about nonsense
Very cool.
religiously, and he absolutely loves it. So
Yeah,
love
I know,
you,
as you
Patrick.
can tell, there's zero structure to the show, or
Why should there be? Routine's boring.
we've always said this. We're two friends sitting on a couch, having a bottle of wine, talking shit about all the crap that came up on our social media feeds this week. It's a conversation. It goes all over the place.
Exactly. And our guest star, Kitty.
And guest star Kitty. Well, I have a shout out this week, and it's going to my friend Hyla from Hyla Cooking. We met through a mutual friend of ours some months ago, and we ended up following each other on Twitter, and it just kind of kept in contact. And then I recently saw her again, like this past week, and she was asking about the podcast, and we're talking about it. And one of the things that we were talking about was, and I know I joke about the show having no format or not being professional, or the fact that we're drunk or whatever, which
Buzzed,
is
not drunk.
all true. But one of the things I also told her was, if we had waited until everything was perfect, if we had the soundboard, which we still don't have, if we had...
But we do have new and improved sound.
If we had the, professional standing microphones instead of the clip-on ones, or if we'd done this or done that, or waited for this, or I feel like with podcasting or with other things that you do, because she makes videos on YouTube, so she's actually really big on YouTube. So even something like that, there are people on YouTube who are taking a selfie with their phone essentially and talking with their earphones in, and they have millions of followers. Now obviously for someone like Hyla, she has a very elevated platform. She's cooking, so it's a little more involved.
Yes.
But you still could do that with your iPhone. And that's exactly what I was telling her about this podcast. Like, we do it all on our iPhone. We use these microphones that clip right into the phone and clip right onto our shirts.
As you hear me coughing up along every episode.
And if we had allowed ourselves to be overwhelmed by the choices, or we should do this first, or we should do that, if we hadn't just done it, we would still never would have done it.
No, absolutely not.
And now, by the way, this is episode 22.
And this is the fun part of it. It's fun recording a whole episode without any audio, or 5 minutes